My name is ZeeZee and you're welcome to ZeeZee Talks. We'll be answering a question today from a very concerned woman about a certain thing that some of us might have dealt with in the past or know someone who's dealing with. Stay tuned, do not go anywhere. You might learn something today. Welcome back. So Nkem writes me today and she's asking me a question and trying to get some sort of solution to see if it's possible to get her husband to begin wearing his wedding band again. So I have a few things to tell Nkem and some of them might shock her. Let's see what Nkem has to say. So Nkem writes, "Hi ZeeZee, my husband does not wear his wedding ring and it upsets me. I have asked him to stop doing this, but he says he does not need to wear a ring to prove that he is married and that he loves me, and the fact that I'm worried means that I do not trust him. What do I do, ZeeZee? Because I need him to actually begin wearing this ring." Thanks for writing in, Nkem. First, I'd like to say that I totally understand where you might be coming from, and I know how you might be feeling. So I get married to you, you gave me a ring and I gave you one, we exchanged rings, and I wear mine all the time, and I like to tell people that, I'm married, I have this great guy, but then you won't wear your ring, and it really just bugs me. I get it, Nkem. Now, the reason why you're talking to me is because you need an objective answer to this issue that you're facing, and while I have a few things to say, the first might actually shock you. So I'll start by painting two scenarios. First, I'd like to say that your husband has a point. He doesn't have to wear a piece of jewelry to prove that he is taken. His conduct should actually prove that. So Nkem, the bigger question here is, are you upset that your husband isn't wearing his ring because you suspect he wants to tell the world he's something that he's not, i.e. single, and him not wearing the ring will cause him to go and act like he's single? The first thing I'd like to say, Nkem, is that's not true. A piece of jewelry will never stop anyone who wants to act like they're single from acting like they're single. Because don't forget, especially in the society we live in, the ring doesn't really make a difference. What you should actually be concerned with is, like he said, do you trust him or do you not? If you do not trust your husband, and that's the reason why you think he should be wearing the ring and then I'll trust him, you have bigger issues to actually deal with than your husband not wearing a piece of metal. So if you trust your husband, which is the second scenario, and you know that, oh no, he's not doing anything, he's more just not wearing the ring just because he's stubborn and he just doesn't want to signify that he's married and so on and so forth, then that's a different issue. So if you do not trust your husband, Nkem, this whole holding him down about not wearing his ring or wearing his ring, that's just a distraction. What I think you need to put your attention on is to fix whatever issues you might be facing with your husband, including the one of trust. Because obviously, for you to be so concerned that he is not wearing his ring means that you might actually be thinking he's up to no good. And if you feel your husband is up to no good, the best person to help you solve this would be him. And if he's not really there or not available, then I suggest that you get some help from a very reputable marriage counselor to see how they can help. Because if infidelity is a problem that has probably plagued your marriage or you're afraid will plague your marriage, then that's a bigger issue that you need to speak to someone about. Now, my second scenario here, Nkem, is if you actually trust your husband, but you just feel like, hey, I'm wearing my ring to signify that I'm taken, and I would like for you to wear yours to signify that you're taken. I mean, that's fair. That's honestly a fair request. But the only issue is, what if your husband just doesn't like wearing jewelry? What if it just makes him uncomfortable, right? He might actually have good intentions, but is just not able to make you understand where he's coming from. Now, the thing about marriage is this, and I hope he's around to hear this, it's a lot of compromise. You're never going to have it the way you want it. And I'll give you a personal example. So Yours truly, most times, based on my activity or what I'm doing, I usually don't have my rings on. But my husband, on the other hand, at every given point of the day and night, he has his rings on. Even almost when he's working out. I think when he's working out, I can't remember, but he has his rings on more than I do. Or he has his ring on more than I do. So the type of relationship that I have with my husband, he knows that me not wearing my ring on some occasions doesn't mean that I'm trying to tell people I'm something I'm not. And he knows it's not me opening up myself to philander, if you know what I mean. He sees it as just me being me because honestly, I find them a bit intrusive. They get in the way sometimes, okay? So I just leave them somewhere and I'm doing my dishes, or I'm cooking, or I'm working out, or I'm just out doing things with the kids and I just don't feel like wearing it. That's a personal thing. However, I also have the type of relationship with my husband where if it's a problem that I'm not wearing my rings, he is able to discuss that with me. And because my number one goal in my marriage is to always be honest, open, and to do whatever it takes to keep our marriage alive, I will listen and then I will come to some sort of a compromise with him. But that's not the case from us. He really doesn't care if I wear it or not, frankly. And that's kind of good for me. So I'll give you an example. That's my husband's ring, by the way. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. I have 3 different rings. A compromise, if this was a problem for us, is maybe I won't wear the 3 different pieces all the time because, it's a lot of rings. I would just wear one. And that might make him happy or say, okay, that's fine, If this was a problem, that's the compromise we come to. Do you see what I'm talking about? That's an example. So what you need to do with your husband is tell him how this makes you hurt. Like, I really feel like we're not in this together when you don't wear your ring. Okay, how about you wear it when you go to work? You don't have to wear it at the gym. You don't have to wear it when you're home. But at least, I like to show you off and I like for you to show me off as well. That's a fair request. And now because marriage is all about negotiation, what your husband then hears based on your approach, of course, is I would just like for you to show me off. And that's okay. You guys just have to have a conversation about this particular issue. You can't go yelling at him and telling him in all sorts of odd ways that you're not wearing your ring, and you should be wearing your ring. That's probably going to put him off. So instead, like I said earlier, say, hey, I would really appreciate it if you wear your ring. The reason why I wear mine is because I like people to know that I have this magnificent guy on my side. I would like for you to tell people the same. Now, I know you might not want to wear it all the time, so can we batter? Can we negotiate? Can we come to some sort of compromise about when you can wear the ring, just so that way you get some and I get some. I know it's not going to be 100%. And hey, with that approach, your husband might actually come around and start to wear the ring more often. But like I said earlier, if the main fear that your husband's not wearing his ring is more because you suspect he might be running around with other girls and he might be trying to be something he's not, then what you should actually put all your energy into is to figure out a way to fix your relationship, because obviously you have issues that you need to focus on. Let me tell you this, if after you have the conversation with your husband and he still insists on not wearing his ring, you make the decision. I trust him. Is it really worth me having high blood pressure and just losing my sanity because he's not wearing a piece of metal? Or I don't trust that he's doing what he needs to do. Then this question about him not wearing his ring is all I like to call a distraction. You're only focusing on an issue that is really not the real issue and ignoring the other one, hoping it goes away. But the real issue is you don't trust your husband, and that's what you need to focus on. The fact that you need to build the trust again in your relationship. So the metal has nothing to do with this jewelry. Doesn't prove that a man is married or happy or not. It doesn't even do anything. Yes, it's there for significance. And if you want him to wear it because you just want him to wear it, but you trust him, that's fine. But if you don't, you have work to do, honey. And the both of you need to start working on fixing the trust issues. Because if it's not the ring, it'll be something else. Maybe he doesn't introduce you as often to his friends. Maybe you go to a party together and he just says, hey, and doesn't introduce you as his wife, right? It'll be something else. You will always find something else that's the problem. if your husband is not trustworthy, if you find that he's not trustworthy. See what I mean? So I hope that kind of helps you understand, what to focus on, how to communicate with your husband nice and calm and gently, of course, and explain to him your feelings about the situation, or to actually focus on the real issue and put your energy behind the real issue, which is, I might need to get some help because I don't think my husband is faithful to me. See what I mean? I hope this helps. If you have more questions or if you need more clarification, you're more than welcome to reach out to me, questions@ZeeZeeIO.com. And for everyone who's watching this video who says, hey, that kind of makes sense, like it below and leave a comment. If you have anything else you'd like to hear me talk about, please leave me a comment, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to. I really appreciate this time that you spend with me. I really, really appreciate this time that you spend with me. Let me say it that way, because I do. I am totally committed to helping you figure out those kinks in your relationship and how to make things better. I'll be more than happy to help any way I can. My name is ZeeZee, and I am still vested in keeping your relationship together. Have a glorious day.